it was a 9-month journey, painting her and writing a novella. And in the process of painting her was, beyond just dealing with grief and drama that happened with my family and siblings. It took me past that and through that. And she opened a doorway for me, in a sense, Julia, into what is my great work now. So in painting her, I've shifted from a life of doing graphic design, illustration, marketing, art direction. And now I work with creative entrepreneurs who've lost their mojo and inspirational vision. And I help them to reclaim their power so that they can find the courage to create their great work.
Wow.
It's just miraculous, truly.
It is, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
So you do like live painting classes, or how do you do this?
My main focus, it has changed over time. I've been doing this since February 2011 is when I started a painter. And by that fall, I was starting my women's circles and workshops. Now I focus on one-on-one mentorships because it's a very deep process, and it's really to help people reclaim their vision. It could be personal. It could be reclaiming their vision through their life work. And it truly is amazing. So I still do some workshops and also have gatherings in my home and home studio. And I work with people in person or online because this work can be done throughout the world. I also assist with an online platform that's women around the world. So it can really happen anywhere, which is fantastic.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
And did you use Skype, or what platform do you use?
I do use Skype. I
Okay.
love Skype. Yes, it works for me.
I like Skype, but I need the recording. They don't have recording.
Oh, they don't. So you need to record your sessions? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, not my sessions so much, but these things I'm doing with people.
These interviews? I understand, because it's more of a marketing and gathering your tribe and
Yes,
having information. So that makes sense for Zoom.
providing them with some information
Yes.
from other sources besides me.
Yes, that's fantastic.
How would you tell someone who's kind of struggling on their own how they might get started back on their road to mojo?
Well, that's a very good question. So there's usually what happens is usually one of the first steps someone needs to do is, sometimes it's just to take some time knowing that they need to making the decision that they need to take this time for themselves and to analyze what they need. So sometimes it might just come in a form of rest and or allowing themselves the time to go on a creative journey. So the first step is kind of this permission step, giving themselves permission. And then what we do is when we start to work together, some of the first steps is creating a safe space where they can work. So even if it's Skype or in person, it's creating that container of safety. So I work with folks no matter what their spiritual background might be. I like to work with them and meet them where they are. So if they're Buddhist or if they're shamans or if they're Christian or if they're Muslim, whatever they feel comfortable with, I like to open sacred space because I feel that that is a very important step. And from there, we do something very unusual, which is called intentional creativity. So we need to set up a connection point where they are intending what kind of could be a healing, it could be request, it could be they're looking for inspiration. We have to be very specific and create an intention for the journey into the painting journey. So that's paramount.
By intention, you mean what they're trying, what do you mean by that?
So it would be something like, setting an intention for the painting journey. So I should look back to see, I have notes somewhere on my painting journey is right here with Lola, but I'm sure it was something with regards, because of my father's death, it may have been, I'm not sure, but it's a good question. I'm going to try to find those notes. It might be something like, show me the way to find perfect health and healing with my family.
Okay.
Through the passing of my father.
So it's kind of the intent of why you're taking the journey.
Exactly. So it's got to be specific. It's got to be positive. Has to be sort of like, I don't know if it has to be in the present tense, but it has to be really careful about certain words, like not to use the word not, because that doesn't work. The mind doesn't pick it up. So you have to be careful how you ask that question, and to be as clear as possible. So I'll often ask to write it down for a few sentences to clarify what it is, because that helps them. Sometimes that takes a little time.
So you have to do a whole session around that.
Yes, that's usually one of our first sessions in our mentorship. Our first one's usually very deep, and it's in discussing that, really, because that is super and that is key. And my mother often says, be careful what you ask for. So your intention and how you said it, trying to be as clear as possible, and adding, if there's some other little area that you might want to add there. So for some creative entrepreneurs, they might say something like, show me the way to open up, possibilities to me stepping into my great work.
Okay.
So, those are some of the first steps that we take. What's really important for some people is sometimes they don't realize that they actually need to rest. And painting could be a very relaxing and restful time. We usually work together anywhere from 2 to 3 hours at a pop if we're working privately. And my workshops are usually full day workshops. I offer them here in my studio. It's by the Jersey Shore, but I'm starting to do some workshops, and I'm in the planning stage of doing one in Sedona. That'd be wonderful. And that would probably be like a 3-day experience, 3 or 4 day experience. But when we paint together, it's usually 2 or 3 hours at a time. And that gives a very good, clear amount, because once you start painting, usually time just goes like that.
Yes.
Like a place of no time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we go internally to receive images and information. And what's so beautiful about this process, Julia, is the painting begins to inform you. Once you connect to your painting will inform you. You can actually dialogue with your painting. And that's kind of the magic, as you will, of this particular process. And it's very, very, very exciting.
Okay, wow, that sounds exciting. That's basically what I do too. Okay, and do you have a name for your process? What do you call that?
Well, there's some different processes. I have some different programs that I do, and they all have, different themes. So the reason why I like to do the mentorships is I meet the person where they're at. So they will, the imagery that comes forth is inspired by them. So there's no preconceived ideas or images. If I do a workshop, it could be something like, painting the spirit of the horse. That's like a theme. Everybody works on
Oh,
that theme
okay.
together. But what I really enjoy is the personal iconography that comes forward. So that feels, more powerful for the person, and it's their specific icon image that they need to work with at this time. So, for instance, I'm going to give you an example of two different students that I have. So, one of my students, Maria, she came to me first. I think we were painting the Holy Mother, and she came to one of those workshops. She came to a couple of my group workshops and my women's circles. And then from there, she came and did a very beautiful painting about this size. We usually work about this size, which is about 30 by 40 or a little larger. And that particular painting was really about unblocking herself. She was holding herself back from some of her innate intuitions and gifts because they frightened her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just her natural gifts. So her first step was really unblocking. And
So unblocking, you had to, how many sessions did that take to figure out what the blocks were?
so sometimes people are aware of them, sometimes they're not aware of them. So there's a few different processes that I do. And what I can tell you is a painting of this size usually is a 3-month process. Some people choose to work longer. Some people are very fast. Some people are more introspective and thoughtful with their painting process, but it can be done in 3 months, and we usually meet 3 times a month for 2 to 3 hours at a clip. I have
Okay.
another process that is almost 9 months. It's a 9-month process. It's very, very deep, and I don't do that unless they've done this 3-month experience with me, so they get
Uh-huh.
an understanding of the steps that need to be taken, the technique. We work together. We see if that's a real match, and that's extraordinarily deep process. I forget what your first question was. How do you realize? You realize the blocks by making the painting. I don't know how to explain it otherwise. Sometimes, it's in the feedback or the process of it's talking. There's a certain amount of talk, there's a certain amount of painting.
Mm-hmm.
I've been an artist since a child, and all through high school, I was involved in all the arts. And then, being in graphic design and art direction, I really understand image and icon because that's my first language before speaking almost.
Uh-huh.
And so I guess I have this natural affinity for understanding and seeing pattern in people's work. And so I am able to prompt and ask, questions, and that will bring someone to also come to a place of asking their painting too, of what something might mean, a symbol, or something that might come up. So once you get involved in this process, because you're working with consciousness, when you're not painting, you are you're continually you're coming in and out of thinking about your painting. So your dreams are inspired, your waking life is inspired. You start to see some of the symbols that you've painted on your painting come into your dreams or into your waking life, and then other symbols come up that from your life that you integrate in your painting. So it's just like dialogue of going back and forth between your waking life, your dream life, your
Mm-hmm.
painting life. And I also encourage my students to journal and to write poems so that it's making the connection between the left part of the brain, the right part of the brain, and creating new connections in the synapses of the brain. And it's expansive. It kind of expands you more and more as you do this work, working with consciousness, dialoguing with your painting, and making those connections. So what I could tell you about, the blocks, it's for each person, it's very unique. I cannot tell you that it's the same, but sometimes it might come up as a resistance. Somebody's resistant to do something.
Mm-hmm.
That's when something really potent, or they're feeling some kind of fear around something silly, or they're asking a question like, "Can I use the color yellow?" I'm like, "What? It's your painting. Use whatever color you want." But it's sometimes they're like asking. They shouldn't have to ask for that direction, but they're asking for permission again. So lots of times the blocks can be something as simple as that. They're asking for permission, which might be something that in their waking life they feel they have to do. It's like, it's your life. If you know you want to use yellow, if you know you want to go to that movie, it could be as simple as that. It's go. It's okay. Here's the big, giant pink permission slip that says, yes, you can use yellow. Go to the movie you want to go to. It can be as simple as that. And sometimes we stop ourselves. It can be as simple as that, and or a little bit more complex. So going back to Maria's story, when she first came to me, I think it would have been a year or so after she had gone through a divorce, and she was coming into her own and experiencing some different things for herself. She had a job at Target that was paying her, a nominal rate, but covering her health insurance benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So when we started the mentorship, her real true love is as a yoga practitioner, and she always had some spiritual practice as well, but she really wanted to go more into doing her own work. So after the first painting, it became clear to her that she wanted to continue to work with me, and she worked on the 9-month program with me. And then from there, she really came online with her work. So she then went from she started to offer mentorships in yoga and some of her sound healing. So then she got to be like 50-50, 50 at Target, 50 in her own practice. Then she did another painting with me, and she then went to 20% at Target, which, by the way, they no longer offer health benefits. Mm-hmm. 80% in her own mentorship, and she's working on a painting right now. She's hoping to take it 100% in her own yoga practice, sound healing, etc. So for Maria, the painting is not the great work for her. The painting is the vehicle to access the information, the vision, mm-hmm. the power, mm-hmm. to forward into her great work. Another student example would be Flo. She also came and did a painting workshop with me, and then did another, came to many of my circles. She comes to almost all of my events that I hold. And she continued her painting on her own. Now she is in her early 70s, retired sales executive. And for her, painting was a way of claiming a new role at this very potent stage of her life. She has become a visionary artist, and just this fall, she had a retrospective of her work, 30 paintings that she has made that she has showcased.
Wow.
So, and she said to me, Leslie, to claim myself as a visionary artist and to see a pathway for myself at this stage of my life was it. So you could see how this methodology could work either as a road to get to what your true work is, or as the work. So it's very exciting. The work is so phenomenal that everyone does. And seeing the images and the symbols and how they've come to this place is so full of grace. And I feel so incredibly grateful to be able to do this work myself. It's very, very exciting.
Wow, yeah, it sounds exciting. So you're going to be doing a workshop, a 3 or 4 day workshop in Sedona. Can you tell us more
I
about
am,
that?
and I'm also doing, I have a little free event for anybody here who's here on the East Coast. It's this Sunday, March 26th. It's called Superpower Sunday, and it's a 3-hour workshop. It's meet and discover the healing work of 5 practices. So we'll have 5 practitioners. Melinda Applegate, who's on the call right now, she'll be teaching Qigong. There'll be shamanism from Erica Grafe. There'll be theta healing from Abaya Cardova, shadow coaching work from Carla Lavoie, and I will be showcasing this intuitive painting. And we're really looking forward to it. So everybody will have a little sampling of finding new energy strategies to reclaim your power, ignite your vision in your life and work while empowering your world.
Wow. And where can people go to register for that?
Well, they can call me at 732-280-7989. And what I'd like to offer your listeners, Julia, is a free Get Your Mojo Back breakthrough session. And I will give you that link number where people can register for it. That would be at mojo.acuityscheduling.com. Acuity spelled ACUITY.
Oh, I use them too.
I like them. I like that.
Yeah, I like them.
Yes.
Okay, so they can get a free session. Is it obvious which one to choose?
I'm sorry?
Is in your list of services that are on that page, is it obvious which one they should choose?
It should say Mojo Breakthrough Session.
Mojo Breakthrough Session. Okay.
Yes. It should say that Mojo Breakthrough Session.
Okay. Okay, that sounds fabulous. I'm sure. And I will be rebroadcasting this in an evening slot because not too many people can come to these
It's tough. It's tough during the day, I understand.
Yeah, so when it's gonna, and then I will be uploading it to YouTube, so you may get people for quite a while.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. I really appreciate that.
Just seen it, yeah. Okay, so that is fascinating. Tell me more about opening the sacred space.
Well, it depends on how they like to do that. Some people prefer prayer. We can, do the 6 or 7 directions if you feel comfortable doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We can read from scripture. We can meditate. I had one student who's Buddhist, so we would meditate. So it's whatever you feel comfortable with.
Okay. I thought you meant maybe this physical space that you set up.
It is sort of physical in a sense. So,
okay.
I mean, that's how I look at it. So if, for instance, we were working together right now through Skype, in my office space here, I would light a candle, you would light a candle. I would ask you how you would like to open up sacred space. So it physically is I feel like it's physically in my space, in my room. It's also physically in your space and in your room. And we are quantumly connecting, right? If it's Skype, we're going to connect somehow, right? So if we're opening the space that way, we're trying to create that space in our physical location.
Right.
Connecting. So it's the same thing if we're working together in the studio. We'll light a candle. We'll be in that physical space together because I feel like I I'm a facilitator, a midwife on this journey with my student, you know, and one of my gifts is seeing. So not only am I taking them through a particular method, but I am also kind of, it's like walking on a trail with them. I'm a passenger on their journey.
Uh-huh.
And just kind of like holding the lantern up sometimes when they're not sure which way to go.
Okay.
Yes,
Wow, that sounds powerful.
it is. It's wonderful.
And I think I'm going to take you up on that and do a session myself.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Have I missed anything? Have we missed anything?
I don't think so. I mean, you know, they can look me up. I'm redoing my website, so I still have my old graphic design website, but I'll also give that information. It's Leslie Nolan Design.com.
Okay.
So they can always go there to connect, or they can email me at Leslie, that's LESLIE, at LeslieNolanDesign.com.
Okay.
Email is a great way to connect with me because I'm always doing my work through email these days.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Fabulous. Okay. And the mentorships, is that the 3 month and the 9 months?
Yes, the 3 month. I also do a monthly. Sometimes people want to test it out for a monthly. That's not typical because something of this size takes 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a monthly program. I have the 3 month program and then the 9 month program.
Okay.
And yes.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. And they can, so they can do the breakthrough session and then they can.
Yes, and then I usually in that I'll make an offer based on what we discuss because everybody has different needs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
might be about timing or they're really ready. You know, they might be really ready. So it's discussing what it is that they need.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow, this sounds very, very powerful. I'm so excited I met you.
And I'm excited that I met you too. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk. And I wish you luck on all of your endeavors. Creativity is the journey and the way.
Okay, and I will send you a link for when the rebroadcast will be, and we can promote that so that people who weren't here today can